Yay. So today I have the amazing and beautiful Laura Wieck, licensed massage therapist, master coach, and creator of the BodyMind Coaching program. Laura is dedicated to helping holistic practitioners create abundant businesses for themselves. Her mission is to help you honor yourself, serve your clients, and grow your business in a heart-centered and impactful way. And that means no more burnout, no more exhaustion, no more charging less than you're worth. Also, Laura is a longtime client of ours at the agency, and I'm deeply, deeply honored to serve her in her mission of increased embodiment on this planet. Her vision is beautiful, and it's palpable, and it's freaking happening. Thank you so much for joining me for this party today, Laura.
I love that it's a party. I totally agree. I'm so honored to be here. And it's funny, I know we're going to talk all about this as far as, how I've grown and expanded and flowed, within business and Facebook ads and all that good stuff. But finding you was an honor for me. So I'm just grateful that I get to work with you too. So thank you.
You're so sweet. Thank you. It is a party.
It totally is a party. And I just wish that I was in Costa Rica as opposed to Ohio, but that'll be next time.
Yeah, come on down, man. You are welcome. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
For the first question?
Let's do this.
I want to know what kind of impact you want to make over the next 5 years.
Goodness. It's funny. If you had asked me that 5 years ago, I would have thought that what I'm doing now is like the end all be all of my impact. So I created, let me kind of start back. So I'm a massage therapist myself. Obviously you said that in my introduction. And when I first started practicing, I felt equipped to address the stress and physical tension in somebody's body. And what happened was I started noticing and hearing my clients' stories. And I could literally see how what was going on in their life, what was going on in their head was having a direct impact on their body. Mm-hmm. And while I could physically help them feel better, I knew that what really needed to be addressed were the beliefs, the habits, the mindset in their everyday life. Because they would feel great when they got off my table and come back 2 weeks later with the same stuff, the same issues. And so, that was really what led me into coaching, because I quickly realized that how I talked to my clients mattered. And while, I could address the physical knots, it was like the coaching conversation helped me address the mental knots. So 5 years ago, the mission, the vision was to bring this work into the holistic space, to help other practitioners learn how to incorporate the coaching conversation, because I really believe that when you understand how to, harness the power of that body mind, it changes what happens in your life. And, 5 years ago, just teaching holistic entrepreneurs, really shifting how we practice, understanding that the conversation is just as important as our actual hands-on work. That was like the end all be all for me. And since then, and let me actually add this as well, when I stepped into that and I started doing that, the other thing that I started to realize was that this method, this model, the BodyMind method that we teach with Embodiment Coaching, what also started happening was the way that practitioners sold their services, the way that they showed up in business also had to shift. And somehow these two problems of helping clients get better results and helping practitioners work smarter, not harder, because it's a physical profession, actually better manage their time, manage their energy, and unlock this ability for more income and more impact in their businesses. Those two problems are actually solved by this one, this coaching conversation, this coaching process. So 5 years ago, that was my impact. I wanted to change the industry standard of time for money. I wanted to empower holistic practitioners to own the full value of what they offer, which is not just the time that they do the treatment, but really like how they serve and support their clients on a greater scale. And the funny thing is, that is what is happening. That is real. And so looking into the future of 5 years, we now have an amazing group of certified BodyMind coaches. My vision in the next 5 years is to actually really talk about what does it mean to live body-mind. I know that self-care has become a buzzword in our culture, in our society today. And I almost feel like the self-care movement has almost become, am I allowed to be a little mildly controversial?
Oh, please do.
Okay. I feel like the self-care thing has actually become like this luxury thing, especially for women, especially for white women, myself, right? The self-care movement has become this thing of like it's almost become this detachment from, versus what I believe true self-care is really honoring your body, really, knowing your intuition, letting your intuition guide you in your life. And when you truly practice self-care, to me, it is a coming home and it's a connection to all. Right? If you are fully practicing self-care, you are grounded in your wholeness. You are embodied in the moment. You are in full connection with everything and everyone. And, self-care is not this, let me go take a bubble bath. Like self-care is, not tolerating things that don't serve you anymore. Self-care are difficult conversations. Self-care is, oh man, when I am fully embodied in myself, sometimes self-care is doing the thing that scares me, saying the thing that might be a little controversial. And so my mission and vision now over the next 5 years is to demonstrate again what it really means to live body-mind. Because I think when we look at our culture and our world today, stress is the number one killer. And I think that is coming from a mentor of mine called it the disease of disconnection. We are disconnected within ourselves. And if we truly want to heal our relationships, heal the planet, heal ourselves, we have to start with going inward within the body. So for me, this whole body-mind movement is really,
it's
what
beyond
does it
just
actually...
the holistic practitioners.
Yes.
And it's more of a universal...
It is. Lifestyle might be a way to say it, but it's a coming home, because here's the irony of like, when you come back into your body and live from the body, you actually connect to everything around you. So it's this weird thing. And, I work with a lot of women and healers where we're all taught we need to humble ourselves. We need to, play small, be nice. And it's, when you come back into the body and you really harness the power that is there, you realize that you and who you are is everything this planet needs. And, so it feels a little, I feel really idealistic when I talk about it, but you're in the right place it is just, it's literally I just feel as if we can come back into our bodies, right, the disconnection that we feel in our everyday lives starts to dissipate. And that's why I want to teach the healers how to do this, because I think that's why people are showing up at these massage appointments, at these acupuncture appointments, doing the energy work, on the yoga mat, that really people are asking to come home into their bodies, and we have to reconnect this body mind to get there.
Hell yeah, man. That's a beautiful vision.
Thanks.
I'm happy to help get it out into the world. What kind of people do you think, or do you feel like resonate with you the most?
Obviously within the healing community, that is definitely an easy place where I think a lot of the practitioners that come and work with us are sensing this, but haven't been able to grasp it or feel it. And I also think, again, it's this is where the gremlins in my voice tell me I'm crazy. I really feel like culturally we are sensing that division, and I think we're energetically sensing this desire to come back in, which is why we're seeing alternative treatments, and they're called complementary alternative medicine is on the rise, and it's starting to really become mainstream, because I think people are feeling this, and there's I just really feel like that body is calling us back. So the healers, the holistic practitioners, definitely, I think they resonate because they see it and sense it. Ironically, they see it and sense it, and we were talking about this before we hit record. They see it and sense it when they're with their clients, and then as soon as we start talking about business and Facebook ads and marketing, that intuitive guidance that they allow to guide their work, it like disappears, and they're supposed to be a certain way in business. And you and I both know and believe that actually the more they stay grounded in that intuitive brilliance, the easier the Facebook ads, the marketing, the messaging, like it comes together from there.
Oh my God. Truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah. So I it's funny that we teach this body mind thing, and then we're like, okay, now let's go talk to your clients. And they're like, what do I have to do? What do I say? How do I get this right? I'm like, damn it, just go back down to the body. It will tell you.
So, I mean, speaking of, what kinds of rituals and routines help you show up in the world aligned to serve your people?
Oh my goodness. I love that question. So a couple of things, and I have to say, I don't know if anybody knows Colby. I'm a quick start. For me, doing the same thing every day, like actually takes me out of it versus keeps me in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I would love to tell you that I have this like rock solid meditation practice, and I will be honest that it really ebbs and flows. So what I do for myself is I have things that are like in my toolkit, and as long as every day I show up and do at least one, if not two or three of those things, I really feel grounded and back in my body. So the first thing is, I've heard once that your breath is the most freely available and cheapest medicine that is out there. My breath, and I don't know if you can hear it as we're chatting, but for me, the drop down into the body and how that connects with my breath is something that is always available to me. I can feel when I'm up in my head and I'm totally disconnected from my body and I'm trying to present a certain thing, and literally like just allowing the breath to drop me back into the body is something that like,
and even just you mentioning that, like, have an automatic response of, oh yeah. So I mean, it's medicine for sure.
Yeah. And for me, I really try and feel the breath at the base of my pelvic bowl, like all the way down on my perineum.
Absolutely.
I even have a little breathing exercise where you imagine breathing up through your perineum, where the breath actually comes in and fills you from the bottom up, and then it goes out your legs. Another fun little thing, this is just because I'm on it, I can notice, like, if I'm really stuck or hyper-focused or just stressed, I notice that my gaze becomes really narrow. And so I'll also do this thing where I just let my gaze go wide, and that also drops me back into my body. And for our third one, to round it off, because we love threes, feel my feet. If I notice that I'm disconnected, I will feel my feet. And it brings me right back into the moment. So those are things that I do really, like, those are things I'll do on a group call. Those are things that if I'm talking with somebody in an interview on a podcast, like, there's a reminder for me to do that. And even last week we hosted our 10th BodyMind Live coach training. My intention is to really be embodied. So those are quick things that I can do in the moment to bring me down.
Amazing. So you've got an amazing, consistent practice that is integrated throughout your day that has nothing to do with getting up at 5 a.m. and doing a meditation. But it's...
Well, I also have a newborn. So,
girl, I get it. I mean, with or without a newborn, it's hard. But with a newborn, oh my God, forget about it. But still, I love that it's integrated, like during the podcast interview, during your meetings with clients, during, you know, at any moment, you've got something to bring you back, a 3-4.
And those are the embodiment things. I mean, the other thing, I journal, I meditate. One thing for me, I always say that my business was built by walking my dogs. I love walking my dogs.
I've received many Voxer messages from you while walking your dogs.
It's where like I'll usually like listen to an audiobook or a podcast and process, and then I'll be like, oh, what about this, and message my team. So it's, for me, it's a place of being outside. Bilateral stimulation is actually naturally relaxing for the brain, so it opens up those creative juices. And it's, for me, it's one of those things that I don't necessarily do it every day, but I would say 4 to 5 days a week. I definitely walk my dogs to build my business.
So along with all of that, how do you stay consistent with your marketing efforts? Like, apparently what you're doing is working. You've grown tremendously in the last few years. Well, how do you stay?
You're funny because that's all you. Okay. So
well, then how do you stay authentic? Because I know you're an extremely authentic person. How do you stay authentic as you delegate more?
Yeah. Well, one, I think hiring the right people. I've worked with other Facebook ads people who were wonderful, and I could tell that they were ticking things off a list. When I started working with you, one of the things that I really loved was, and I know we talked about this when we first connected, was, for me, embodiment is my message. And if I have ads or posts or marketing going out there that is not coming from an embodied space from myself or my team, it typically does not work, or it just feels really forced. So for me, I think that team and that delegation, one, and you know how all the pieces, we have them together. Am I allowed to talk about who else we get to work with in this? Is that part of the conversation?
Say whatever you want.
Okay. So what I love it and how we've been consistent for me is, one, I connect with our marketing person, and she and I will just have these conversations. And what I love about her is that the conversations aren't, what are we going to put in this email today, and what are our 12 steps, blah, blah, blah. She'll just get on the phone and be like, tell me what you're thinking about. What's lighting you up? What books are you reading? I'm so inspired by books. I'm always leading. By the way, the Book of Awakening is one of my favorite. This is another
I've seen that
morning routine. It's just a little daily thing. Love. Highly recommend that.
All right. Going on the Amazon list.
Yeah. It's by Mark Nepo. So the Book of Awakening, and it has just a really short thing that I'll read and think about when I walk my dogs and stuff. So we get on the phone, we just talk about the things that are exciting. And from that conversation, she will pull out the themes that I'm talking about. And then those 12 themes go onto a little spreadsheet. We do 3 months at a time. They'll go on a little spreadsheet. And then this is where it's fucking genius. On Tuesdays, I go live on my Facebook page. I pick a theme. And again, I get myself embodied. I feel my feet. I drop my breath. I expand my gaze. And I truly allow what needs to come out to come out. And I share it. I talk about it. That gets transcribed, which gets turned into an email.
So it's really coming from you and your heart.
It's coming from me. It is pure embodiment. So it's if I come from the intention of what are we going to say to get people to buy, it will not work. If I come from the intention of what message is really asking to come through me, and I share that, it somehow just always expands, right? So from that one live, we get an email. We typically get a couple quote cards. We'll source in some other quotes from other experts. Sarah and her lovely team do their magic behind the scenes. And, my marketing has never felt easier or lighter. And
that's an amazing statement to be able to make.
Oh my God, I love it. Right. Well, yeah. And I mean, I know this may be a question on your list. Before I ever did paid advertising, I was told post 4 times a day, what you're supposed to do, all that stuff. And it got really heavy because it always felt like the underlying intention was the sale. Right. Yeah. For me, and I really had to stay diligent. And this is where my practice came in of I operate under celebrate the one new client, celebrate the one new like, celebrate the one new follower. instead of, right, it's so easy when you're starting, when you're new to this, like everybody starts at zero, but somehow when you start at zero and nobody likes your post, you think it's like never going to happen. Right. So in that, for me, it was just, if I tried to write something that was forcing someone into a certain action, it never worked. When I really just said, this is what's on my heart, this is what's true for me, it was like people liked it, people shared it. And so I really think when you think about marketing, it is a daily practice. If we're going to use my words, it is a daily practice of that, living that body mind, of tuning into, what are those gifts, those messages, the awarenesses, the insights, the brilliance that have been put into your heart for a reason. And I thinking about that one person, what does that one person need to hear today? And how can I talk to that one person who, and wink, wink, a lot of times that one person is me.
Absolutely. Or you a year ago or 2 years ago.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Or, like, oh, hey, I get to practice this shit too. Which is, I think how I stay authentic is because I'm not sitting here saying I'm amazing and I'm through it and I never have to deal with this shit. Like, when I talk to myself, it keeps me really grounded in knowing that growing my business is a dedication to my work, not the business. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. Yeah. And it's all connected. I mean, my business is not separate from my life, and it's not separate from my spirituality. It's all
amen.
Connected. Yeah.
Freaking man. Yeah.
So you were reaching people organically. You were actually kicking ass and taking names when I met you for the first time. And I know you had run ads before, but what originally got you interested in paid ads? Like when you first took that plunge?
When I first took the plunge, I had done a course that taught me how to do a webinar funnel. And so in that they taught doing some paid ads. And so I was like, well, fuck, here we go. So I did it. And I have to say, I just want to, webinars have always connected with me. I don't want to send a message that you have to have a webinar funnel to be successful. For me, I think I'm naturally a teacher, even though my parents, everybody in my family is a teacher. In my whole life, I was like, I'm never going to be a teacher. And I realized, like, oops, I'm a freaking teacher. Just not in the traditional sense. But anyway, so I avoided that for so long. But like, one, I'm naturally a teacher. Two, my audience, the holistic practitioners, are taught the importance of continuing education. They're taught that they have to take classes. So for that webinar format, it really, really works well for me and for my audience. So I just want to say you don't have to do a webinar. For me, it was just, it has always made sense. It clicks. I get it. It jives with me. So I do it. So in that course, there was, I'm a firm believer that your first clients, and we sell high ticket and create those high end coaching programs, whether it's $500 or $5,000 or $50,000. There are people around you now ready to buy. I first sold my programs. I would connect in Facebook groups. I would go to local marketing events. I just was consistent in inviting people into calls and all that stuff. So I sold my first few programs really easily, which allowed me to pay for advertising. So I first started with a webinar marketing funnel. And again, in advertising, I found that if I tried to do an ad that was like, do this thing and get this result, versus when I shared a story, when, I really demonstrated and opened myself up, those ads tended to do better. So that's where I was, but it was very formulaic, and it was like the nurture stuff. What do you guys call them? Your resonance stacks.
Resonance. Yeah. Resonance stacking.
the resonance stacking has, holy hot damn, like I was doing okay. I learned Facebook ads. I did Facebook ads myself. It helped me learn my audience. I went into it with an attitude of Facebook ads are not me knowing all the things. They're actually a way for me to learn more about my audience. I'm hoping, again, that makes sense. But when you guys started putting the resonance stacks in, like, it was like, hot damn. I don't know what happened, but like there was a spark, and then it was just like amazing.
Woo! That's how I like it.
Yeah, it totally took off. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Well, I mean, speaking of which, now that you're running paid ads consistently and having an agency do it all for you, what kind of results are you seeing?
So much goodness. We are seeing, so I think our cost per enrollment has gone down significantly. I haven't looked at your by the way, Sarah gives you the prettiest reports on they're gorgeous. I open them up. I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing.
Aesthetic is very important to me. Like people are like, just put out an ad that gets results. And I'm like, it must be beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
My reports must be beautiful. Everything must be beautiful.
And again, it's like very much her like living, like what you see is what you get. It's just that feminine. It's just awesome. I love working with you. So what was the question again?
I don't know. Let's just talk about how great it is to work with each other and how much we love each other. Results.
What's been results? Oh yeah. So our cost per enrollment has gone down. And I know we're playing and testing things, so I can't say cost per lead, but I'm always looking at cost per enrollment. I think we're at a couple $100 per enrollment. We're down we've been rolling easier. Okay. So better clients on our enrollment calls, easier sales, like they're ready to buy, they're primed, instead of like we were having a sales process where I had to do multiple calls over even a couple months. And now it's like these people get on the phone, they know about me, they know the mission, they understand what BodyMind Coaching is like, and if they're offered an invitation to join, they're there, they're ready to say yes. It blows my mind. So I think overall, like that has brought down our cost per enrollment, which has allowed us to enroll more. Before you came in, I was not struggling. Let me choose my words carefully. Before you came in, there was a lot of energy was put into bringing maybe 15 to 20 people in per round of my training. Now, like we're easily seeing 40, 50, like it's gotten a lot easier to bring people in, and the numbers are increasing as well. And at the same time, all of this happening, I'm physically doing less on the marketing front, and it's become easier and it's amplifying, and it's just like mind blowing to me. So
you're amazing. Thank you for all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled it's going so well. And I'm curious, what is your next level? Like, how do you, and I know this because we've talked about it, but I just want to bring it out. Like, how are you planning to reach and impact even more people so you can visualize that next 5-year dream?
Oh yeah. So the BodyMind Coaching certification program, as of this interview being hosted, when you were talking earlier about delegation, it is at a point, I like to say that the BodyMind Coaching certification program that I created is going off to college. It's learning, how to manage itself, i.e. my team doing it. It's learning how to do its own laundry. It might come home eventually every once in a while where I need to answer some questions, but the BodyMind Coaching certification program is at a place where it's really functioning on its own, which is awesome. And my next step. So can I talk about my meditation? There's a little backstory to this.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So this is funny. I'm a firm believer that sometimes changing your space allows the next vision to come through. I know we talked before that you're moving, so I'm kind of excited to see what vision comes in with that move. I know for me, when we moved I'm in a home office. When we moved into this office, like it created the space for like the next vision to come in. So last year, I was at a mastermind event with my mastermind, and I was like, I don't know what the next thing is. Like I couldn't see it. However, I've wanted to do an addition on my house since the day we bought this house, I have always seen an addition on our house. And so I walked away from that mastermind with my action step being call a contractor and start to get estimates on this addition. And so I did that, but I was visualizing and meditating on this addition on my house. And so my husband and I, we have a 4-month-old, and in this vision, we have a split level. So it's another split, a master suite that overlooks our yard. We have a bunch of trees in our backyard, and I could see our son running in there and, playing and all this stuff. And I was just visualizing, overlooking the yard, looking like the nice king size bed, and then there was a chaise lounge, and in this vision next to the chaise lounge was a little coffee table, and on it was a magazine that said BodyMind Living. I was like, well, like I never could have thought like Laura's going to do a magazine called BodyMind Living, right? But I saw that magazine so clearly, and like I just felt all of me light up. And so of course I brought it back to my team. And here's what I find interesting about this meditation is a lot of people might think, do the addition and then like the magazine comes. The way I saw that was the magazine is actually the path to the addition. Mm-hmm. Right? So we are starting, we're starting it online. We're doing an online magazine, bodymindliving.com. Hopefully by the time this airs, there's something on there. But what this is this is a place for myself, our BodyMind coaches, to really demonstrate what it means to live BodyMind. And I now have this vision of seeing BodyMind Living on the end caps of Whole Foods. In print form. So I'm super stoked about it. So to me, this is a way to help people really understand those day-to-day shifts that can happen in living this work for themselves.
That's freaking beautiful. And I can see it on the Whole Food shelves too. 100%.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
It already is. It's already here.
I love it. So we're actually we're starting at this, I think we're starting it this month. We're starting to do some of the behind the scenes stuff. And, one of the things, this is coming up, so I'll just share it. One of the things that I've learned in my journey is there is only receiving. As I've been on this journey, as I've allowed myself to receive for my business, others around me get to receive more.
Absolutely.
And I
I call it fill my cup so that I can fill the cups of others.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I used to say as you receive, you naturally give, but honestly, I think you receive and everybody gets to receive. There is only receiving. And I used to feel guilty, being successful, making the money. And now I realize that as I allow this to come in, I'm just creating the platform for more people to be seen and for more of us to step up and do this work. So I'm really excited about it. And then there's going to be the live events and all the good stuff that comes with it.
So exciting.
I can't wait.
How can people find you so they can get in on all this?
Oh my goodness. That's a great question. So if you are a holistic practitioner and you are interested in learning more, I do have a free training at thenewbodymind.com/spark. You can go watch that, register for that there. And we are in the process. So hopefully by the time this airs, or if you're watching this or listening to this a year from now, bodymindliving.com is where we're going to be launching that amazing adventure.
Amazing. You can find Laura on Facebook, on Instagram.
Oh yeah, that too.
All those places too.
Laura
those places.
Wieck. I know it doesn't look like it's pronounced that way, but yeah, Laura Wieck.
And then a final question. How do you stay focused and aligned so you're not spreading yourself too thin and missing out on what matters the most, which is your own spirituality, your own self-care, your own personal growth?
I really trust my gut. I trust my intuition. There's a phrase that I love of feel your way forward. For me, following what is light and doing the things that literally excite me and make me feel good are the things that go to me. Everything else, I delete, I delegate, Yeah,
There's got to
I
be another
delete or I
D word in
delegate.
there.
Typically it's delete, delegate, and do, but honestly at this point, if it doesn't feel light for me, it makes me take pause to say, is this actually aligned? This year we're practicing, I have a 2-day-a-week schedule because I have a 4-month-old, so that's been fun. It allows me to fully work when it's time to work and also fully be mom when it's time to be mom. And I love it. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. So yeah, again, it's very much really tuning in. If something starts to feel heavy or burdensome, to me, that is a sign that something in it needs to shift.
Yeah. Delete it or delegate it.
Yeah. And if I have to, I'll do it. But again, that's becoming more rare.
Yeah.
And I think in that there is power in, I know hiring people initially, I was like, that's going to be an expense. I have to tell you, every time I've hired, it has allowed more to come in, not the opposite. So if something feels heavy, there's probably somebody out there that's going to love doing it. I can do ads. I don't love doing them. Thank God for Sarah. I have people on my team who love spreadsheets. I hate spreadsheets. They can go do those. So it's very much a following.
Beautiful.
It's good.
I love it. You've given so many awesome words of wisdom and nuggets that people can take away, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah.